This is TWiT.
This episode of Tech Break is brought to you by ACI Learning. Accelerate your career with IT Pro and ACI Learning. Test your new skills in practice labs with real-world simulations, hands-on experience, and test preparation. Use the code TWiT30 at checkout for 30% off a standard or premium IT Pro membership. Check out go.acilearning.com/twit to learn more.
Now Bing.
Paying for Bing?
To be clear, Microsoft, if you go back to their original announcement about this Bing AI thing or the Bing chatbot, whatever we're calling it, Yusuf Mehdi, I believe you can find, you rolled the tape, Bob. He's at some point he said, we are going to monetize this with ads, right? They were upfront about it. Like, how do we make money on this thing? We have this notion that these AI transactions, I'll call them, or queries or whatever, are about 10 times more expensive than a normal search query. That money has to be paid somewhere, and it's the web. So the model on the web typically is free and ad supported, and that's what search engines are, and that's what Bing is and will be, right? And so Microsoft sometime last week came out and said, hey, by the way, we hit that 100 million daily active user thing Richard's been talking about, and now we intend to monetize that, right? And they have these ideas about how they're going to do that, and how that makes sense of any kind. But this is both unsurprising. I think it was telegraphed, and it should not. I know people are complaining about it. Of course, they're going to screw this thing up. Well, yeah, of course they are. They have to. It's not a charity,
right?
But then again, I think the one thing we do miss, mostly in the Microsoft space, let me think about that before I say it. I mean, one of the things I like to see is some kind of a choice between free ad supported and paid. So at least everyone has the opportunity to take advantage of whatever the service is. Spotify does this kind of thing. Other services that started off as just being paid are starting to experiment with adding ads and maybe lowering the prices, that kind of thing. It would be interesting to me as a Microsoft user to be able to pay them some monthly or annual fee, which I already do, right, for Microsoft 365, and get other benefits that could extend to things like this. In other words, you have to pay to use ChatGPT, is that right? Or no, not ChatGPT.
$20 a month for ChatGPT Pro.
Yeah. So what if I paid an extra 10 or $20 a year to Microsoft 365 and I just got free access to Bing chatbot or whatever?
Same as like YouTube Red, right? Like, just get rid of the ads.
I'd like to see that kind of an option, right? So they're not talking about that, but what they are talking about is ads.
It is interesting to think in terms of how much more information it has to do advertising for you, because you wax loquaciously to the chatbot compared to search terms and clicks.
What's the term you always use, at the Valley of Despair? What do you call it?
The trough of disillusionment.
The trough of disillusionment.
Yeah.
So
it's Gartner's term.
Okay, sorry, it's a good one. So the way this will summon itself in the case of Bing chatbot is we're already disappointed with the terribleness of ads and how they track you, right? So I look for a pair of sneakers and I see ads for those sneakers for the next 2 months, even though I've already bought them and they're already worn in. I'm not buying another pair.
I have actually emailed the company I bought from and said, if I see another ad for your thing, I'm
never buying
the product.
Again. Yeah, exactly.
I'll send it back. Like,
everyone
go away.
Everyone has experienced this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So everyone is all gaga and excited about AI and everything. Oh my God, this is the future. I'm going to lose my job, but it's going to be awesome. And when Bing AI starts doing that same dumbness, that's the, what do you call it again? The trough of disillusionment.
Yeah.
That's going to be the moment where it dawns on users that, okay, so this thing, I thought
you'll drop immediately into the creepiness when I quote you back something you said to the bot a month ago and said, hey, we have a product for that now.
Yep. You're like, okay, screw this thing. Like you're just stealing from me now. So
before you were stealing from everyone else, but now it's me and I don't like it.
Well, you remember the original Eliza product, the first time we started speaking existentially to software, and every so often it would take, like, it was pretty good at pulling a catchphrase, and it would just sort of, to change the subject, say, tell me more about how you hate your brother, right? Like, and that was
it's the way a palm reader works, like that you think they're psychic.
Absolutely.
And they're just really good at reading the room.
Yeah.
So you can imagine Bing AI having kept all of these token trees of all of your conversations arguably tied to chat. It's like, stop speaking existentially to software. It's not a good idea. Get a dog. A dog is a better solution to that problem. But
probably understands just about as much as AI.
Now that you know it's for ads, everything you say to it is going to drive ads. I would say less.
Yeah. There you go. So anyway, like I don't know. I because of the little part of the world we live in tech, people see this story and they're outraged. They're just outraged. Sorry, it's like I said, it's not a charity. I mean, obviously, they're going to have to make money on this thing. In fact, it's probably getting to be a little bit of a problem.
Yeah. Very expensive to do it.
Well, I wonder about the Azure utilization because they were in a crisis through the pandemic when demand went up and hardware availability
and had no way to expand it. Yeah, exactly right. Yep.
So are we catching it now that you've suddenly put more demand on the cloud?
Oh my God, that's another theory, Richard, right there. I have all these theories about why Microsoft did this right now. It's incredible. I could start you just mentioned a new one. Now, yes, shut up, Siri. Now, I swear to God, my watch just said, "I'm sorry." You're always sorry. Just shut up. So,
you have a Canadian watch?
No, it's an Apple Watch. So, so they ran into this problem, like you said, during the pandemic. But now no one is using these services anymore. It's like, guys, we got to utilize all this capacity we built out. What do we have that could suck it all up?
Yeah.
Guy in the back of the room's like, I get this AI thing. It's insane.
Yeah. Large language models. Yep. Large language models.
Yep.
Well, and I mean, obviously, all of this was driving, the business is now Azure consumption. And so the trick is to make products that depend on Azure. And all of the artificial intelligence initiatives across the board that Microsoft doing, they all consume a ton of Azure. And this one especially, like now you've moved to GPT-4, you just bumped up utilization by a double again.
Right.
Like that's expensive resources. I don't know how this is going to ultimately wash out. Although I do think this stuff's going to end up more on the edge. We're going to have neural processing units on machines. We'll try and get more efficient. But at the moment, not at all.
Right. That's right. Yeah, it's a lot of, this is, you have to be one of the biggest companies in the world to even afford to do this.
Well, they
right now,
where's Amazon in this? You talk about the other cloud competitor, like other than saying they're going to spend less building out their voice product, and I refuse to say the name so I don't disrupt people's rooms. Where's their offering? Because they're the ones who could be playing in this field. They have the infrastructure.
Yeah, they haven't even vaporwared it, right?
No,
as soon as Microsoft came out, Google tripped over itself.
Yes.
You're like, well, we've been doing this for 3 years. What are you doing?
No, I walk
Amazon,
directly into door frame.
Yeah, exactly. right. The door is made of a rake. And like, but Amazon. Silence, right?
Silence.
The last thing they said that was anything even slightly related was like, yeah, we just blew $10 billion on this stupid voice
and we're
thing.
going to spend less.
Yeah, and all anyone uses it for is to tell them a joke and start a playlist.
Yeah,
so you want us to do the next thing, and how much more expensive is it? Yeah, silence.
Fast.
Yeah, it's really strange. Or maybe it makes sense. I don't know.